Hey gang, welcome to day one. And to start off today, I actually want to give you guys a quick little tour of a Windows 10 machine. That picture right there is a picture of a car that I love, the Monte Carlo, but nobody cares about that. That's not why you're here. So let's go ahead and go through this quick little tour of the Windows 10. So Windows 10 was an upgrade from Windows 8. Windows 8 was not a fan favorite. It's not going to be on anybody's top 5 as far as operating systems go. The Windows 8 was primarily supposed to be for tablets, but they tried to move it over to PCs and it didn't work out too well. But this is Windows 10. It's a lot smoother and most people like it. So first thing, we're going to go down here and go to the start menu. And Windows 8, it was actually hard to even find a start menu. So it was a really big change from what people were used to. So you click on the start menu, and this is kind of where it was a mixture, which is kind of cool. It was a mixture of some of the stuff that was in Windows 8 and upgrade to Windows 10. So this would be kind of the Windows 8 portion. So you got like tabs that would be more for a mobile device like a tablet or a phone. So these are actual little apps. Now, over here is a list of all of the programs that are currently on this machine. Cool thing is this start menu, right? We can actually, let's say the calculator. Let's say I wanted the calculator to be on the taskbar. So the taskbar is down here. This is the taskbar. So I got all the little stuff that I use all the time on my taskbar. So let's say I wanted the calculator on my taskbar. I can actually right click it. I could pin it to start, which would pin it in here so I can find it easily, or I could pin it to the taskbar. So if I click it, boom, it pops up on the actual taskbar. Pretty cool, pretty easy to navigate. Now, what I want us to actually look at is settings. So if we go over here to this little gear icon, which on most operating systems, most applications, most things in general, a little gear is going to get you to settings. So let's click on that. And this will get us to most of the things that we're going to be dealing with. So if we go to system, we can control things such as the display, sound, notifications that we get, email notifications, so on and so forth. So let's click on that. And here inside this actual tab, we can go over display, sound, notifications. Just like this, the sound, you can actually choose which speakers you would have, right? So let's say we had integrated speakers. We can actually move those to some external speakers if we was using those. And then this small little thing, since I have a microphone plugged in, so I'm talking to you guys, it's showing me, okay, how loud I'm actually speaking. We got notifications, storage, which is just going to be the hard drive. So I got 487 gigabytes used out of 930. Tablet mode, you probably never use this, and most of the time it's set up automatically to use the appropriate mode for my hardware. So since it knows that I'm using a PC, it won't actually switch over to tablet mode. I've never needed to use tablet mode. I tried using it one time, wasn't a fan. Projecting the PC, so if you actually had a projector, you wanted to cast it onto a projector or cast it to a TV or stuff like that, you can actually do that as well. Remote desktop. So remote desktop is something that's actually used on different versions of Windows operating systems. So this is a Windows Home version, and we're actually going to go over the versions as well. But on Windows Professional, Windows Enterprise, you can actually use remote desktop, which actually will allow you to remote into other PCs. All right. So that was system. We saw the things that were in there. Then in devices, pretty simple. It'll show us the Bluetooth devices that we have connected. So I got a wireless mouse, a wireless keyboard. This blue snowball is actually my microphone. Then I got a couple Fire Sticks plugged up. So this is where all your devices can be found. Then we got printers. I got a printer hooked up, fax machines, so on and so forth. We actually find that inside of devices. Then if we go to phone, you can actually link your Android or iPhone. I don't have my phone link, but if you wanted to, you could. Network and internet, we can go through the Wi-Fi options, internet options. So I paid my cable bill, so I'm connected to the internet. It says Ethernet, so that's actually wired internet instead of Wi-Fi. Dial-up, if you're using dial-up, you're having a rough day. You're having a really rough day if you're using dial-up. But we know dial-up, instead of using the actual Ethernet cable to get onto the internet, you're actually going to be using your telephone line. All right, and any of you guys have been around for a little while. There was two things that you couldn't do when you were on dial-up. That was use the phone and be on the internet at the same time. A VPN, this is something that we can actually use to actually cover up what we're doing. Well, yeah, cover up what we're doing. So a VPN, right? A VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. What a VPN does, it actually encrypts the traffic. So it encrypts the information. It encrypts what you're actually doing. And encryption is just a big word that means that it makes it unreadable to people that you don't want to be able to read the information. So a lot of times if you're using different things, or if you're on a network that you don't trust, you can actually use a VPN and actually encrypt the information on your network. All right, so everything that you're sending, people won't be able to see. So that's in network and internet. Personalization, just like I got these pictures of Monte Carlos in the background. You can put pictures of your certifications when you get them, so on and so forth. So you see what the lock screen looks like. So when you actually lock the computer, you can have a generic little picture, or you can upload pictures. They have different themes. So you have flowers, windows, or you can actually create a theme or download more themes from Microsoft. Then it has what's actually shown on the start menu, which is pretty cool, and then the taskbar as well. So mine's, I got it for automatically hide the taskbar. That way I can just see everything. So when I go down, it'll pop up, go away. Pop up, go away. So that's pretty cool. Then let's go back. And apps is pretty self-explanatory. If you got any apps, any extra stuff, anything that you're doing, you can find it inside of apps and features. Accounts. So this is where we can actually create an account, manage our account, so on and so forth. So we got email and app accounts. So this is where we can actually add another account. So we had another account, we can add it, we can create another account, so on and so forth. And another thing, this right here is sync your settings. So when you sync your settings, it actually will show your settings across every device. So every device, it'll actually be the same across every device. All right, so let's get out of here. Time and language, that's pretty self-explanatory. You can change the time, change your language. Gaming, if you're doing some gaming, you can go in there. But the last two things I want to talk about is ease of access. This is one cool thing. It actually makes it easier for people if you have any kind of disability, whether it's you're hearing impaired, visually impaired, you can make text bigger, you can make things louder, you can make things softer, you can turn on closed captioning, you can actually use speech instead of the keyboard, so you can actually talk things out instead of actually having to type things out. And then there's another thing where you can actually control it with your eyes. Now, this right here, I've used it before, and it's just like it says beta, which means that it's still in process, still not as best as it could be. It's better than nothing, but it's not too good. Then it got a narrator as well to actually read things out to you, so it's pretty cool. So ease of access is just for something to make it easier for if you have any kind of impairments. Update and security. So this is where we would go for Windows Update. As you can see, I need an update to be installed. Now, what'll happen is it'll remind you, like, hey man, you need to download this stuff. Hey man, you need to update your computer. And then eventually, you can keep on postponing it, but eventually it'll make you update it. All right, so if it's a critical update, it'll make you actually update your system. And usually when it makes you update your system, it's at the worst time. So just make sure you update it in the middle of the night or whenever you want to do it, just so it's not at a time when you actually are on a computer. So that's what this is right here. So change the active hours. So I said the active hours are from 8 to 5 anytime. Actually, I need to change this probably. But 8 to 5 anytime after this, it can actually update it. So the best way to do it is probably, let me do it right now. So the active hours are until 12 a.m. Then, so it has a window from pretty much 12:01 a.m. to 7:59 a.m. to actually download whatever updates I need. Let's see what else. Windows security. So on here, this is where you can get virus protection, device security, so on and so forth. So an update security is where you go for Windows Update to set up what updates you need, when it's going to actually update, and then security, just actually securing your devices and your actual operating system. Now, last thing I want to show you is Cortana. So Cortana is pretty cool because it's kind of like Siri, or it's kind of like the application on Androids or Alexa, where you say, hey Alexa, and then you can ask a question, or you say, hey Siri, what's the fastest somebody ever ran ever? All right, and then Siri tries to answer that for you. So Cortana does the same thing. Just like this, I have it turned off, but there's an application where if you turn it on, you say, hey Cortana, and then you can ask it, hey Cortana, open up Windows Media Player. Hey Cortana, open up Google Chrome. Hey Cortana, what's this, what's that? And it's actually a digital assistant just for you. Now, we went through all of these settings really quick. One other thing I want to show you guys is something called Microsoft Management Console. And then this is actually Cortana right here. This is Cortana right here. This is some stuff that people are asking. But what I want to show you is MMC. So MMC is the Microsoft Management Console. And the Microsoft Management Console actually has snippets inside of it. This right here is UAC, User Account Control. So User Account Control is a added layer of security for guests as well as administrators. And it just says, hey man, are you sure you want to do this? So if you're deleting something, if you're installing something, it just makes sure that whatever action you're taking is the action that you actually want to take. So bam, this is the Microsoft Management Console. So let's go here, we go to File, and then we can go to Add, Remove, Snap-in. So snap-ins are just things that we can actually manage. So here is where we actually can add and remove users. Since this isn't a domain computer, and we're gonna get into the difference between local computers and domain computers. Since this is just a local computer, I would only be able to add, okay. That makes sense. All right, so I'll only be able to add users and groups to this local computer, if that makes sense. Now, if it was a domain, I can actually add users and groups to the domain. But these are all snap-ins. So Task Scheduler, Windows Defender, so on and so forth. So I'm actually underneath a guest account, so that's why it wouldn't let me add this snap-in. But no big deal. You understand. So we're actually going to get into this a little bit deeper later on, but just understand that the Microsoft Management Console is where we can do a lot of things. So this is like an administrative tool. We can actually go to the event viewer, see what people are doing. We can go to performance monitor. We can go to task scheduler, so on and so forth. And another thing that's cool is it gives you a small little description of what it actually is. So task scheduler, schedule computer tasks to run automatically. Okay. Next thing I want to show you is the actual admin tools. So let's say administrative tools. Another cool thing about Windows 10, if you want to upgrade, update, install, download, uninstall, if you pretty much start typing anything inside of here, it's going to pop up with whatever you're looking for. It's going to pop up. So let's go to administrative tools and look at a few of those. So we got computer management, where we manage our computer, defragment. So defragment is when we actually defrag the hard drive and speed things up. We got performance monitor, so on and so forth. Last thing I want to show you guys is device manager. So we can actually manage all of our devices. So this right here is Device Manager. So it's got our audio inputs, computer, keyboards, mice, monitors. So let's open up the monitor. So this is the monitor, and this is the type of monitor. So I got an AOC 2436. If we right click it, we can disable device, uninstall device, or update the driver. Now, a lot of times when you have issues with a device, it's a driver issue. So if you got a out-of-date driver, if you got an incompatible driver, it'll actually mess up the way that the device actually works. So a lot of times we update the driver, it'll actually fix it. Or if we install the correct driver. All a driver is software that actually tells the PC or the laptop or whatever you're using, hey man, this is a monitor, this is how it works. Hey man, this is a mouse, this is how it works. All right, and then when I say hey man, I'm not talking about you, it's the devices talking to each other. So anytime you plug in anything, a lot of times now it's plug and play, which means that the drivers and the software and everything are download without you having to do anything. So a lot of times when you plug in something that says give it a minute, initializing or downloading softwares or downloading drivers, that's what it is. A driver is just software that tells the PC or the laptop, this is what I am and this is how we work together. Give you guys one last peek. This might be for myself. Let's see what Monte Carlo was up now. Kabam. All right, gang, so this is a really quick tour of the Windows operating system. After this, you're going to actually go through a lecture. We're going to go through some of the things that we saw right now. And the reason I gave you guys this quick tour is because I don't want to be going through the lecture and then I'm talking about topics and things that you've never seen before. And the cool thing is most of you guys are probably using a Windows 10 operating system. So there's two different interfaces on a Windows 10 operating system, and then we're gonna go straight into the lecture after this. So this is called the GUI. We got stuff we can click, we got stuff that we can see is pretty. We got the GUI, the graphical user interface, and then we got another interface called the command line interface. So if we type in CMD or command prompt, boom, it'll come up. So this is the command line interface, right? This is the graphical user interface. So there's graphics, things we can see. Command line, this is pretty much how things were when computers first came out. You type in a command and then it'll give you the desired effect. All right, so let me give you an example. So ping is a command. Ping is a command that we can use for connectivity. So we can ping google.com. So ping is just a command that tells you, hey, you have connectivity. All right, so ping, it pretty much just sends a message and say, hey man, can you hear me? Did you get it? And then it'll send a reply back and say, yeah, we got it. And then if you get 4 replies back, then it means that everything's okay. But this is a little bit more advanced. Just want to show you guys this. But like I said, this was a quick little tour of the Windows operating system for Windows 10. Right after this, we're going to go into a lecture, go a little bit deeper. And other than that, I'll see you in class.